I'm Tamsin from Wilsen, and you're watching the AU Review.
Welcome to South by Southwest.
Thank you for having me.
Have you played shows yet?
No, we've done some video sessions, but
Okay.
the first show is tonight. So
Are you a bit nervous? How are you feeling about
terrified, absolutely terrified. Yeah, there's no holding that back. I'm so scared, but it should be fun. Just trying to keep very relaxed.
it? It's all madness. People are probably not going to be sober anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll go with the flow.
I mean, yeah, we're playing close to midnight, so hoping everyone will be happy enough already.
Exactly. I certainly think they will be. They'll go with it. They'll enjoy themselves,
Yeah.
and so will you.
Yes.
I certainly hope. Well, let's talk about what you're up to at the moment. You've got an EP that just came out.
Yes, yeah. Magnolia EP came out just last year, and now working on finishing recording for a new album. Very exciting.
So, for those who heard the Magnolia EP, what can they expect from what would come next, and what can they expect from your live show as well?
It was a little bit different live. The EP was recorded sans drums. We had one track with drums, and we've since incorporated drums into our full live setup, so it'll be a little bit more fun, a little bit less melancholy, hopefully. And then for the album, it's a big mix of everything. There's a lot of quiet moments, there are a lot of louder ones, a real mix of acoustic and electric, so hopefully a nice step in the right direction, we'll see.
Definitely. Musically, when you sit down and make music, what's your process? Do you start on a guitar? Do you start on keys? How do you put your music together? And has that changed over the from what you're doing now for a full length compared to what you did for the Magnolia EP?
A little bit, yeah. I usually start on guitar because it's just the most natural instrument, and so and it's also an easy one to experiment with because you're not so aware of, you can't visualize the notes like you can on piano. So it's easier to come up with something different than what you've done before. And then I just kind of pair them with words that have already been written in another fashion and try and smush everything together and form a song in one way. But has changed a bit now. I've started to learn more the technological side of recording demos, which I avoided for a very long time. So it's nice. Now I can try and program drums, quote unquote. I'm not very good at it, but it's been fun to start arranging whilst writing the song as well.
Changes the way you go about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can only imagine. And how do you feel that you've progressed as a performer as well? I mean, what you're doing now, is that how you've always done it, or again, is that kind of,
I'm a little bit more experimental. I'll be playing a couple different instruments, which is definitely out of the box for me.
Yeah.
And I get less nervous sometimes, but not too much has changed. We'll see. We definitely have more fun on stage, and it's so much fun to play with full band and get some good energy going on.
And is this your first time playing in America?
No, we're based in New York. Actually.
Oh, you are based in New York?
I don't sound like it, but
you don't.
We are a New York band.
You are based in New York.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been in New York for a few years and played in America.
So what am I talking about? You know the drill.
Yeah.
You know the drill over here. So I should be asking if you've played in London.
Yes, I have actually. We did a UK tour last year, so it was good fun.
Fair enough. It's fair enough. And I mean, is there a difference between the countries in terms of the audiences? Do you notice that?
Well, yeah, I've had from our tour last year, we noticed that the crowds are a lot quieter. They don't interject or heckle as much as they do here, which I can't tell if it's nicer or worse, because I remember the first couple of shows we played, you just couldn't tell what anyone was thinking, whereas here people are so vocal, and they'll either whoop really loudly, or you can just hear little shuffles in the audience, which is comforting instead of people just standing there with folded arms. But that said, shows in London were really great, and it was nice to see a little bit more interaction. But no, the biggest difference between the countries is the driving distances.
That's for sure.
The longest we drove over there was 3.5 hours, and here I think it took us 34 to get down here. So
wow,
yeah, big difference.
It's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the rest of the year. So you're working on new music, or do you think you will hear that this year, or you're not quite sure yet?
Yes, if I have anything to do with it, hopefully. But I know there are obviously different ways of going about it, so we'll see. But I would love to be able to give it to people this year.
That's always the hard part of making music, is that sometimes it's like you finish something and then you end up having to strategize and wait for it.
Exactly. But it's good. It's good to do that, I think, to make sure it gets out in the best possible way.
That's right.
So we'll see.
And while you're here at South by Southwest, is there anyone you're hoping to see? Anything you're hoping to catch?
He's a Canadian musician called Andy Schauf. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. It's Schauf. And I think he's fantastic, so trying to catch him as much as possible.
Fair enough. And maybe one day we'll get you down to Australia?
Yes, we'd love that. We'd love that.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And enjoy the madness of this festival. I think, it's really good that you have done it before as a spectator, because you know what you're in for.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. Luckily enough, I got to see the scramble a little bit, so I wasn't set expectations for this year.
That's right. I think it's really important for any band
Yeah.
who's coming over to at least have your manager come over, or you come over yourself and just suss it out. And,
Yeah, exactly.
separate the madness from the madness.
Yeah, exactly. Try and organise it somehow.
That's right. Organized chaos.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. So nice.